Hi everyone, I'm Stacy and I'm here today for a story time with you, and it's all about bubbles. So check this out. I have this little dish of bubble solution and just a straw from my cupboard, and look at this. Oop. I made my own bubble solution. How cool is that? So I'm going to show you how to make your own bubble solution. But first, we're going to hear a story. It's about Alfie and his big bubble. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to watch the story together, and then we'll come back and I'll teach you how to make your own bubbles. It's a lot of fun, and it's spring. It's a great time to blow bubbles. So let's watch the story. And move that down. Here we go. Alfi Blows Bubbles. Make it big. And there we go. Uh-oh.
Alfie was in the garden blowing bubbles. The bubbles were big, round, and had all the colors of the rainbow in them. Some of the bubbles flew high in the air over the treetops. Some stayed close to the ground and bumped around the flowers. Alfie blew a stream of bubbles over the daisies. Some of these bumped together and popped, showering little shower drops of water onto the flowers. Now, sitting in one of the flowers, minding their own business, gathering nectar and pollen, were two large black and yellow bees. The bees were being showered every now and then with sudden bursts of soapy rain. Just when they had gathered an armful of pollen, splash, they were hit in the face with a sudsy drop of water. This made them drop all their pollen over the flower. The two bees were getting cross. He was still running around the garden enjoying himself, blowing the bubbles, as the two bees looked over the edge of the flower to see what was going on. "Now that," said the first bee, "is the problem." The answer to the problem they both thought was to remove the bubbles. Together, the bees decided to burst all the bubbles with their little pointy sting. Zooming out from the flower, the bees rushed around the garden, bursting as many bubbles as they could find. It was hard work. Alfie, far from being sad at seeing his bubbles being burst, thought that it was fun and started blowing more bubbles. The bees were buzzing around like wild things, while Alfie was blowing more and more bubbles. The buzzy bees got so out of breath, they had to go back to a large daisy for a rest and a cup of nectar. Alfie was getting excited and was blowing bigger and bigger bubbles. One bubble was so big it would not let go of the bubble stick. As Alfie would not let go of the bubble stick either, the bubble slowly lifted Alfie into the air. The bees looked over the edge of the sunflower where they were sitting. They saw Alfie rising into the air. "Now he thinks he's a bee," said the first bee. "We can't have that. He's after our honey," said the second bee. The bees flew over to where Alfie was hovering just above the pansies. "Look here," said the first bee, flying just in front of Alfie. "We are not having you flying around, pinching our honey. Up here is for bees. Little boys belong down on the ground." "I know," said Alfie, "but I'm being kidnapped by this big bubble." "That is serious," said the second bee. "Shall we pop the bubble?" said the first bee to Alfie. "No, no," shouted Alfie. "I will fall." "We could sit on top of the bubble," said the second bee. "The extra weight of us may push Alfie down back to the ground." "Good idea," said the first bee. So they both flew to the top of the bubble and sat down. The two bees looked around. It was nice on top of the bubble. The sun was shining, and there was quite a good view. They could see their hive in the next field where they lived. Far from making the bubble go down, however, the warmth of the sun was making the bubble rise higher up into the air. The bees flew down again to where Alfie was hanging onto the bubble stick and told him about the sun warming the bubble. "What we need," said Alfie, "is a friendly little black cloud to cover up the sun." "Not much chance of that," said the first bee. "There is not a cloud in the sky." "Not in the sky, maybe," said the second bee, "but I know where I can find one." Saying that, the second bee flew off at top speed. "What is he talking about?" said Alfie to the first bee. "I have not got the faintest idea," said the first bee. In the distance, there was a large buzzing sound. The sound got louder and louder. Suddenly, over the hedge, there came a large black cloud. The cloud was buzzing and buzzing. "One black cloud," said the second bee, who was leading the black buzzing cloud. The cloud, of course, was made up of hundreds and hundreds of bees. The second bee had flown back to the hive and brought everyone back with him to help Alfie. The bees circled round above Alfie and the bubble, stopping the sunlight. As expected, when the sun stopped shining on the bubble, the air inside of the big bubble cooled down, and the bubble got heavier. Slowly, Alfie and the bubble sank down until they were just touching the tops of some big yellow flowers. Suddenly, the bubble burst, and Alfie was dropped into the middle of the flowers. The flowers were full of pollen, and a large cloud of this pollen rose into the air. Alfie gave a big sneeze. All the bees zoomed down to collect up the pollen and take it back to the hive. When all the bees had gone, Alfie found himself left on his own, sitting in the middle of the flowers, clutching his bubble stick. "Now that," said Alfie, "was an adventure."
Thanks for joining us, guys. And remember that AM and PM story time is for any time of the day, whether you're just waking up, noontime snacking, or bedtime is happening. Stop by and enjoy a book with us.
Let's see. Here I am. Well, I'm back. What did you think of that story? That was pretty funny, right? He blew such a big bubble, it lifted him right up to the sky, kind of like a hot air balloon. Only hot air balloons actually have something else besides air. They actually have helium inside that help them to go up. But it's kind of the same idea. So when the air gets really, really warm, just like in the hot air balloon, if you've ever seen one, they have a flame that they can control. They can make it really big to warm up the air, or if they want to come down, they make the flame smaller so there's less heat. Because when the gas gets really hot, it gets lighter and you can float up. But when the gas gets cooler, it gets heavier or more dense and you come down. So that was pretty neat. Do you think you could blow a bubble big enough to raise you up off the ground? That would be pretty fun, wouldn't it? Well, today you're gonna get to make your own bubble solution. You can see how big a bubble you can make. So what you need to be able to make your own bubble solution is, first of all, some sort of container so you can store your bubbles. You probably won't be able to blow all the bubbles we're going to make in one day. If you do, that's cool. But if you don't and you want to save them, you just need some sort of a little container with a lid that you can seal. And then whenever you want to blow your bubbles, you can just open it up and blow your bubbles. So I have this. It's something we got from some takeout order that we had long ago, and I just happened to save it. You might have a little jar. Look in the recycling bin. You want something with a lid that's plastic, and then you'll be all set. I probably wouldn't pick something glass because it's easy to accidentally knock things over, and broken glass is never a good time, right? So pick something plastic with a lid. Then you're gonna need, and you may have to go to the store for this. I got this one at Walmart, and it's glycerin. I don't know if you can see, the light is shining on it. There we go. Glycerin. And you only need a little bit of glycerin. So if you buy the glycerin and you like making your own bubbles, you'll be able to make lots of bubbles. You need some regular dish detergent, any kind. I happen to use Palmolive, but whatever kind you have at your house is fine. And I already measured out a teaspoon of just regular, it's just regular sugar, if you can see, and that's 1 teaspoon. And you need some hot water. I put my water, and it has to be a cup. So a cup of hot water. I already put mine in the microwave so it'd be nice and hot. I put it in for about a minute. And I'm gonna make my bubbles right in my little container. So I'm gonna pour, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower my camera so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm putting the 1 cup of hot water right into this little container. There we go. And I'm going to put my teaspoon of sugar and sprinkle that right in there. And I like to make sure the sugar gets dissolved in my warm water. So I'm gonna stir it and get it all dissolved. Now remember, if you've been watching my videos, you know that dissolving things, it means we're making a solution, and that means once you get the sugar all dissolved, you don't see any little sugar crystals anymore. It's like they disappear like magic. So when you're stirring, what you're looking for is not to be able to see any sugar anymore. And guess what? That looks good. I cannot see any little specks of sugar floating around in there. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my dishwashing detergent, and I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of that into my solution. 1, and here is 2. 2. And then after that, the glycerin, but the glycerin only needs 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of the glycerin. It's sort of thick glycerin. And I got 1 tablespoon, and I just put it in. And now I'm going to stir again because I want to make sure everything gets mixed together nicely in this, into the water, the sugar water. And the sugar, just so you know, the reason you put the sugar in is it helps to make thicker, stronger bubbles. So when you blow your bubbles, they should last longer before they pop. That's what the sugar does. But one downside about the sugar is you probably don't want to blow a ton of bubbles inside your house because you'll make everything sticky. And probably your mom and dad won't be too happy about that because it'll mean they'll have to wipe everything down because it'll be sticky. So these bubbles are best for outside. But it's May and the weather's getting pretty nice. In fact, it won't be long if they got the weather forecast right. It's going to be 70 degrees outside in about 10 days. That's perfect bubble blowing weather. So I've mixed everything together. And now I just need to try blowing them. So I put my straw in, and you could make a wand if you had a little bit of wire. You could make a loop at the end of your wire, just like the bubble wands that come in the store-bought bubbles. You take your wire and you make a little loop on the end and then twist it, and you could dip that in here. You could look in your mom's kitchen drawer of accessories, have mom with you, or dad. Sometimes dads do the cooking, so it's kind of their drawer, or it could be mom and dad's drawer. But look in there and see if there's anything that you could blow into that might make bubbles. If you have a bigger container like this that you can pour the bubbles in, something like a big plate with a bit of a lip, and you pour the bubbles in, and you had a small colander or strainer. Sometimes you can blow into those and you get lots of teeny weeny little bubbles floating around everywhere. But let's see what I can do with the one I just made. Here we go, I got some on here. Oh, no luck that time. Sometimes you. Whoa, that was a pretty big one. I'm gonna do one more. I am in the house, so I'm not gonna do too many. I don't wanna make everything sticky, but well, you gotta get it just right on your bubble tool, whatever you're using. The trick is to dip the straw in and let some of the bubble solution go in there. And then another trick is to not pull it out too quickly. Pop. That was a good one. And did you see how colorful they are? One thing I noticed, I observed that the bubbles are really colorful when you make your own. I think they're more colorful than the ones I bought at the store. So that's pretty cool too. Well, go ahead and make your own bubbles. It's pretty easy. It's kind of like a science experiment because you have to measure out all your different ingredients and you have to stir, and you are making a solution, and all the ingredients combine to make something new so you can blow bubbles. Because you know what? If you just use this on its own, or plain water, or plain glycerin, or just sugar, or even just sugar water, you're not going to really get very many good bubbles. But when you combine them, you get something new, a bubble solution, and you can make some really nice bubbles. So try it. It's a lot of fun. And you'll be able to blow lots of bubbles all over your neighborhood. They'll be floating around and people will be like, who's making all those bubbles? It'll be you. Till next time, bye. And I hope you liked that story too.